One of the most absolute calamitous days, I think, of my and in recent history. Unbelievable what is happening at levels and at areas, and I'm telling you right now, it is just incredible. Between all this going on between Guatemala and the various travails, and also keeping track of my friends and family in Tampa and that particular area. This is a cacophonous, wild day, the likes of which, I mean, let me just see if I can kind of sort of calm down and settle down. And first, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being a part of this. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you remain a loyal subscriber. I today had a wonderful time. I did a live show with my good friend Sean Atwood. What a time that was. What a cacophonous piece. I'll be posting that one coming up. But in the meantime, I wanted to explain a couple of things to you. First, we'll be talking about this notice of catastrophic commerce. People right now, as the world, what is happening in Florida is unparalleled. And wait until you see what's going on today and what's going on with our government, what they are and are not doing, and how, thank God for President Donald Trump, who seems to be the only adult in the room. The question came up the other day when people were talking about gold, just through the notion of gold and water and generators and food and ammo and all of these things. And somebody asked the question, this gold thing is so fascinating. Where do you get gold? How do I know it's legit? Do I keep it? Do you keep it? Where do I go? This is the best place of them all. Noble Gold Investments. Watch this. There's a revolution happening right above our heads. It's about to make silver more precious than ever. The sun's power is taking over the world. It's growing so fast, it'll be the biggest source of electricity by the 2030s. Solar. Here's the kicker. Every single solar panel needs silver to work. We're talking about a silver paste web in every panel, turning sunlight into power. Smart investors are already making their move, and that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. With a silver IRA, you can surf this incredible wave of growth. It doesn't matter who sits in the White House or what Wall Street does. Solar power is unstoppable, and silver is its secret weapon. As the world goes green, your retirement could be going sterling silver. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers in 2024. Visit LionelNationGold.com. You may get up to 10 free brand new 1-ounce silver Trump coins. Listen to that. Or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with every qualifying IRA. That's LionelNationGold.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. My friends, as I speak with you right now, we're looking at just the most incredible examples of what is happening and what could be the storm surges, the likes of which, growing up in Florida, we always thought, well, if we're inland, because, Hillsborough County, Tampa, whatever is inland, the Bay is here, but we're inland, and nobody really has anything to worry about. People on the beaches themselves, I don't even know what's going on. But with a 30-foot possible storm surge, 30 feet, I'm hearing numbers. I'm hearing figures that blow my mind. Let me show you this. This is the one that got my attention, and this should let me see. Here we go. Watch this one here. Just get an idea of how serious this is.
What it look like? Well, let's show you. Imagine this. Imagine 3 feet of storm surge right here. Now, if this amount of water catches you by surprise, it's too late to evacuate. Cars are floating around and floating away. There's large objects in here that could knock things down with a battering ram-like force. Now, there's no way, again, to evacuate with this kind of storm surge. But we know there's going to be places with more than 3 feet. Imagine 6 feet of storm surge. Now, this completely floods out the first floors of homes and businesses, and the only way to escape that is to move to the higher floor of a building. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be places that get more than 6 feet of storm surge flooding. Imagine this, 9 feet and even beyond of flooding, of inundation. This is practically not survivable. So please follow the advice of your local officials when they ask you to evacuate. And if you have any questions about what evacuation zone you're in, if you need to go and or where you need to go to floridadisaster.org. And by all means, everybody, please stay safe.
Incredible. Incredible. Now watch this.
Maybe the most dangerous place in America for the next major hurricane. Tampa has not seen a major hurricane in over 100 years, going back to 1921. Tampa just happens to be the most vulnerable city in the US to storm surge, the deadliest impact of hurricanes. The funnel shape and shallow water of the bay allow a major hurricane hitting the city to push enormous amounts of water into Tampa, inundating much of the city. A catastrophic strike from a Category 4 storm could submerge downtown Tampa in over 20 feet of water. A Category 5 up to nearly 30 feet. The last time a major hurricane hit in 1921, only 135,000 people lived in the Tampa area. Today, the metro area is home to over 3 million people. The combination of a huge population, older building codes, and a lack of experience with hurricanes is a perfect storm for devastating impacts from a major hurricane. In a worst-case scenario, storm surge damage in Tampa alone could exceed $200 billion. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when a major hurricane hits Tampa, Florida.
This is what we've been thinking about. I mean, all day. People, you know, how do I say this? Folks who are Floridians, they've always thought, well, we're going to ride this thing out. Well, we're going to ride this thing out. I have spent today, my friends, watching more and more about weather modification, weather weaponization, and the like. I want to show you something that also blew my mind. This is from, of all places, this is ABC, okay?
Temperatures are skyrocketing. Large swaths of the planet are becoming uninhabitable. The largest mass migration in our planet's history is on the verge of happening. But what if there was a way to stop it all and cool our planet?
Now, do you hear this? Remember, somebody who's been talking about this forever. I've been talking about geoengineering for as long, to the point where people are thinking, is he talking about this again? Yes. And now what you're seeing is more and more of, quote, conventional media trying to discuss it, kind of putting a toe in the water, acclimating you, getting you used to it. Let's talk a little bit more about it. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're not even remotely hiding.
Humanity try it, and what would the consequences be? It's being called the world's fire escape plan. And in tonight's Prime Focus, Ginger Z shows us the promise and peril of the efforts
show you just a
to
portion of
literally
this.
dim the sun.
This is dimming, the dimming. I've been talking to you about this.
It's a climate solution that seems both
3, 2, 1.
fantasy, yet almost too easy. Just reflect the sun and make it cooler on Earth. But could we do that? And more importantly, should we do that?
We've done such a poor job of geoengineering our climate with our carbon.
Oh, let me just stop. I can't even watch this. This makes me they're talking right now, something called solar radiation management and carbon dioxide removal. This has been reported to be, and you're going to be seeing this, the information, the sprays, the chemicals and the like in the sprayings that you see. Geoengineering. Never, ever, ever, ever call it chemtrails. We don't know what that word means. We don't refer to that. Never. Don't do it. As soon as you do this, it sets you, that is the tripwire for conspiracy theory. Geoengineering is over here. Project Cirrus, Project Storm Fury. It's here. And all people have to do is spend a moment of their time investigating this just a little bit. The information is here, right in front of you. Never, ever, ever call it chemtrails. Ever. Remember, this is what this is. They're luring you in. Now, let me explain something. I'm going to say this again to you. When I started this years ago, I always thought, I think one day it'd be a good idea for people to have maybe some food in case of, who knows, maybe you want to go hunting, or maybe one day the refrigerator goes off or something. This is what people thought before, not too long ago. Just like, isn't that quaint? Little mac and cheese you can have in little pouches. No big deal. You know what? I'll buy a little bucket of this stuff. What the heck? Who knows? Maybe we just. That was then. This is now. Everywhere I turn, I'm seeing it. They're talking more and more and more and more about weather seeding, weather modification, weather everything. Do you hear what I am saying? I let me see if I can say this again. Okay? I'm telling you this. Listen to me carefully. I'm not. I know sometimes people kind of go out of their way to make things sound more disastrous than they are. I know that's true, and I've heard these people, and I'm thinking to myself, please don't do this. Please don't do this. This is so critical right now. I'm going to say this one more time. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Look at all of the available packages, products, quantities, particular diets, low sodium, high sodium, low fat, vegetarian, vegan. I like desserts. I like this. I like whatever you want. There are people at My Patriot Supplies, thank God, who have spent every waking hour thinking of every contingency, everything you can imagine in the event of a disaster. For some reason, I used to have the hardest time. I'd have to go look for, weather modification, weather weaponization. Now it's everywhere. Have you noticed this? A complete inundation in terms of subject matter. Since the Napoleonic Wars, people have been trying, how do we possibly change the weather for the best, to avert. Think about what could happen for no other reason. Just you want to short. You just want to take a particular area where nobody's moving, where everybody's happy. No thank. Hey, Kings Mountain. Hey, I like that. I like that mountain you have there for perhaps lithium mining. Well, we're not interested in that. Really? Yes, we like our little quaint community surrounding that mountain that you want. Oh, okay. So you wouldn't want to move? No. Okay. What about Lahaina? What about Northern California? And whenever you say something, what do we do? What do they do? What do they always tell you? They always tell you, you're a nut. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're some lunatic. Do you understand what's happening? This is the thing which I cannot explain to you. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to do my best to remind you of this. Sometimes nature and whatever it gives you, okay. I want you to understand, listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes nature gives us signals. Sometimes there's a wake-up call. Sometimes there's something that just comes along and says, hey, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe you should be paying attention to this. Because for the longest time, every single person I've known is saying, we know this is happening. We not knowing is happening, but we're looking at this, and they're telling you, they're actually saying, look, we're answering the call for seeding Operation Popeye. Look, to it's called the dimming. Let's see if we can reverse. I love this, to reverse solar warming and the like, which is redundant, by creating a kind of a blanket over it to keep the. And you mean that's what you've been spraying? Is that it? Well, we don't know. And then one day they're going to say, yes. How many times have you been told something where you said, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense? And then all of a sudden they say, hey, guess what? Guess what? All of a sudden, yes, we're going to acknowledge this. Vilma Novak, thank you. Crypto says, what's stopping them from creating a Cat 5 every other week? I'm with Trump, New Coastland. Linda Hazlitt, my heart is broken. Thank you, CR, gifting this. Leslie Watson says, I had the luxury of the day off, which ended up in full Lionel and Lynn episodes. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Thank you, Leslie Watson. Thank you so much for that. And Jonathan says, can you explain the Hegelian dialectic? Yes, only if there's a really slow moment of the show. But thank you nonetheless. I also suggest there are ways to just find out for yourself in perhaps any speed, because it's problem, reaction, solution is sort of what Hegel was talking about. We are in the precipice. We are in the middle of something right now, which is so big, so huge, so monumental. I can't say this enough anymore. America has got to wake up. Wake up, especially because of what's happening. Let me give you a couple of examples of some stuff. First, for the longest time, we have believed that the media are biased. We are told that the media are biased. And we're not even sure exactly what exactly does that mean they're biased. Well, they're biased. Okay. But we had no idea how biased they are, beyond bias. They're even more. They're actually working part and parcel with the, how do I say this, with the government to distort, not only to modify weather, but to modify reality. And you see things which are so blatant and so obvious if you know what to look for. And if somebody comes along. The reason why Elon Musk is so critical, I'm telling you, moments in our history, Trump, now Elon, internet, and a new wave, a new cavalcade. You know, it's funny. I was talking today to Sean Atwood and his great crew, his viewership, and there they are in the UK, and every single thing that we acknowledge, single thing that we have, everything that we are noticing in our government, they're doing it, they're seeing it as well. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. They're seeing it as well. In terms of complete and total, a crushing of what we would call First Amendment and freedom of speech. It is beyond anything anybody can understand, beyond anything anybody can understand, beyond anything anybody can even see or grasp or note. It is something that I can't believe it. It's global. So that's something which is very important, because everything that we're saying is not U.S. centric by any stretch of the imagination. I want you to watch this. This is Guatemala in an answer on CBS's 60 Minutes, before in its raw form and then after editing.
Said Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
So what do you think about that? Huh? No big deal, right? Little editing, no commercial editing. Now, while Florida was looking at absolutely catastrophe, instead of being in the Situation Room along with Biden, pretending to act like a president would act, instead of pretending to act like a president would act. This is what Kamala was up to. And please, if you've eaten or haven't eaten, or if you have a tendency towards dyspepsia and emesis, I'm warning you ahead of time.
Madam Vice President, when you were here last, I asked about the border, which remains a top issue to voters. And as you rightly pointed out, the former president blocked the strongest border security bill in decades.
Now, let me stop right there, and you must understand this. You must understand this. You must understand first and foremost, and then we'll get back to this. When you have something that is a lie, you repeat the lie over and over and over again. You say that Trump said that soldiers and veterans were losers. The Gold Star families. You just go through this nonsense. You lie. You take what he said and you distort it. And if you're Tampon Timmy, you say you're a knucklehead. You're just a knucklehead, and you're bad with grammar, and you're an English teacher who has a hard time with grammar. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is it. You lie. You lie about lying. You lie and then lie about lying. Or in the case of this bill, which was a disaster, it was not bipartisan. You got a couple of Republicans who were interested in it. It was a piece of crap. It basically did nothing. It said what you're doing right now will be the norm, the trend. It was not the strongest anything, but they repeat the nonsense and the lie without surcease. They keep saying it, and they pass out to these dim-witted dingleberry dingbats to repeat the nonsense. They pass out the papers. Say this over and over and over again. And that's what they're doing. Understand this. This is deliberate. This goes back to since the beginning of mind control, deception, gaslight, hypnosis.
But there remains this perception among voters that the Biden administration dragged its feet and waited too long to act to address the border crisis.
You wonder why?
Can you speak to why voters may feel that way?
Sure. Well, first of all, to your point,
this was a question given to them. Let me say this again. Whoever this woman is on The View, I have no idea. She was given this question to ask. There was no surprise here. There's no Q&A. And after all, it's The View.
When we first came in office, hours after we were inaugurated, the first bill we offered before infrastructure, before bringing down the cost of prescription medications, it was to fix our broken immigration system.
Complete, absolute lie. They offered a bill. She and what? Numbnuts?
And it never got taken up, in large part for political reasons, because solutions are at hand, and we need to fix the problem. Then, to your point, a bipartisan group of members of the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members.
Wrong. Bipartisan is, let's get a couple of Republicans. Remember, Liz Cheney is a Republican.
Work together with our support to craft the most serious and strong border security bill we've seen in years.
Yeah. Wrong. Look at Mayorkas. These are the people. This is the same woman who flew in on a regular basis illegal aliens and buses and planes and put them in, including their Haitians in Springfield. This is absolute unmitigated mendacity, lying at a criminal level never even anticipated or experienced.
Donald Trump got word of it and told them, don't put the bill up for a vote, because he didn't want a solution, because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Absolutely not. This is the man who put up a wall and they took the walls down. They stopped it. They interrupted the funding. Can you believe this? She doesn't even know what she's saying. This is the only script she remembers, the lies.
So then we had to do, in addition to what we've done since day one in trying to strengthen the border, we took further action in terms of executive action. We have seen illegal immigration reduced by half.
You're half? Dear God, do you remember recently with ICE's own figures, the number of people coming in over the borders, those including people who were convicted of murder and sexual battery, people that are never gone through, including unaccompanied minors. Listen to the lies. This is psychopathy at a level never before. Look, I know politicians lie, but never like this.
The intake of fentanyl reduced by half. But ultimately, if we want a real fix to this, Congress has to act. We need, for example, in that bill,
Congress doesn't have to act when you've got Mayorkas. This is an executive action, basically single-handedly countermanding everything that was done before. And you even have Mayorkas and these folks lying about where the monies were. It's for FEMA. They're lying about that. You look at this face. You see this? This is the face of psychopathy. This is somebody who can say anything without any head and heart connection.
Would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why the Border Patrol supported it.
What are you...
went down to the border. And let me tell you, these border agents are working around the clock. They're trying as hard as they can. They need more resources.
Screaming for resources, screaming for resources.
I have personally prosecuted transnational criminals.
Oh, don't give me this bullshit about how you were a DA. You were a DA in San Francisco, then the Attorney General. You didn't prosecute anything. You couldn't prosecute your way out of a paper bag. Transnational. Would you stop this? What kind of a fantasy world are you in? You didn't prosecute transnational anything. I mean, look, these lies have colors. They're in ranges and realms never thought even possible.
Organizations, right? For the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings.
Human beings? My God, we've become the human trafficking capital of the world. How can you say that?
I have taken on the cartels.
You have never taken on a cartel. You can't spell cartel. You don't even know where they are. You've taken on cartels. Name it. Tell me one operation, one prosecution. Tell me the last. When were you ever in a courtroom?
Prosecuted the cartels. I understand the serious nature of this issue. And
prosecuted cartels. And so far, right now, they are thriving. I'm sure El Chapo quivered in his boots over the notion of this dingbat prosecuting.
The need to fix it. And solutions are at hand. But again, Donald Trump prefers to run on problems instead of fixing problems. He's not solution-oriented.
Can you? Oh, my God. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Remember who she really is.
Under a groove, getting down just for the funk of it. Can I get it on the?
That's a cartel prosecutor. That's the cartel prosecutor. Did you see that series, Old Blood and Guts? That's the cartel prosecutor. Yeah. I'm telling you. Howe Brown says Uncle Sam's weaponization of weather is a whole new frontier that blows my mind. Absolutely, my friend. Nelson A said, "Hola, Uncle Len." She sounds so nervous and uncommitted to what she's really saying. Kevin says solutions are at hand is my favorite babble now. I'm just a knucklehead. Mark Willis, balderdash indeed. Leslie Watson says, Kamala didn't have to remember the lies on The View. She's got the same earrings on. Ah, very good. Remember, people were suggesting the earrings might have actually been receivers. But then again, and how do you know that's true? Because of how upset they got. Kamala is just full of ship indeed. Thank you, Howie. Now, here's another one. This is the best one. For some reason, again, as Florida, as my beloved Florida, my home state, as people hunker down, scared out of their mind over the notion of something truly being done to help them. Instead, she went on this guy.
You come in here, you go.
This fossil with the wig, I don't know if that's a wig. I have no idea. He's got the thing on the glass. He's wearing a tie, by the way. And if you took The View, Stern, Colbert, Kimmel, throw them all together, I don't know how many million. I don't know who's watching this. I don't know who's listening to, with all due respect, Sirius XM. Okay, fair enough. This guy sold out. I mean, again, he was important. During his time, believe it or not, during his time, he actually was, along with Rush Limbaugh, they really added something to the worth and the heft of radio 20 years ago. Now, it's a vestige.
Now, you come in here, you went on The View this morning,
Yeah.
you're going to the shows, you did 60 Minutes. By the way, I thought what was so amazing about 60 Minutes is the fact that Trump turned it down.
Who in their right mind would go on 60 Minutes? Why does she turn down Fox? You know what though? To be honest with you, Tampon Timmy went on that Fox News or whatever, but they promised him they wouldn't kill him. But look at this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it just says so much. He didn't.
This guy with butt bongo, and he wore blackface, and this is a guy who he used to mock the mentally handicapped, and this one's retarded, and he would say that and laugh, and this is the low end. Look at this. She's wondering, what the hell am I doing here?
Want to be fact-checked. This is maddening. This is insanity. What do you mean you don't want to be fact-checked?
I think that
He never said he didn't want to be fact-checked. Can you listen to this? Howard Stern. Que come mierda.
Howard, people ask me, like, what do you think is going on, and what is the tension here? What's at stake? And there are many things, and I can be much more articulate than what I'm going to say. But
people ask you what's at stake, what's the tension? Nobody asks her that. What the hell does that even mean?
ultimately, I do believe that this is an election that is about strength versus weakness.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Guess which side you're on, honey.
Yeah.
And weakness as projected by someone who puts himself in front of the American people
What are you
and does not have
talking
the strength to stand in defense of their needs, their dreams, their desires.
Standing out by himself, meeting with people, bringing tractor, trailer loads, hugging, being there, actually visiting the border more than you did. Do you know what it means to be most of us would have a hard time even saying this because we'd say, I can't do this. I can't say this.
The work that must happen to make sure that we are a secure nation.
What are you talking about?
That we are nurturing and protecting our alliances around the world.
What? Ask BB about that, by the way. That's why they had to fix your answer.
We are supporting America's military, that we are fighting to bring the cost of living down for working families,
Oh my
that
God.
we are building businesses, building growth.
That. Can you believe this. And by the way, remember, she carries a gun. Here she is, I think in 2015, maybe.
Real quick, Corner. Have you shot a gun?
Yes, I have.
What? Tell us about the
Liar.
last time.
No.
No, but do you like hunt or like what do you do?
See, the laughing's gone, by the way. You notice that? You don't hear that anymore. And it's killing her. And you notice that when you take away her mainstay, her label, her trademark, there's nothing there.
I'm a good marksman. Yes, I have shot a gun many times.
You're a good marks person with a pistol or a rifle?
A pistol. And I'm not, that's it. I'm not going any further with this.
Because I don't know what I'm saying.
Weapon permit or
I'm not going any further with
I
this.
don't know.
you know what?
No. Edie Crowley says, Mr. Rowell, with the swipe of her pen. Indeed. Nelson A says, the View host that asked Gay Model the question was Alyssa Farah Griffin, worked for Trump administration, now suffers from TDS. Okay. Well, there you go. Who cares? Evan Webb says, one more time, none of this shocks me. Shocks me. We are where I have predicted for years. If anything shock me, it is the tram issue where some can't tell a man versus a woman's. Okay, I think I know what that means. Thank you. Crypto says, isn't there a way not to be born into this circus? A way not to be born into it? That's a tad elliptical. Howie Brown says, Democrats place their hacks in strategic places in media. I think has more effect getting 2 independent voters for them voters. I think has more effect getting 2 independent to vote for them voters. Okay. I appreciate that. The good news is none of this matters. None of this matters. It doesn't matter. Do you think anybody watching The View is going to say, you know what? Now I'm going to vote for him. Now, you know what? Now I'm voting for her. Yep, that did it. Yep, that's it. All right. That's it. And listen to this one. This will kill you. Okay, you ready for this? I don't know how I came across this or I don't know who this woman is. I don't even know. With Soros, World Economic Forum, Brave New World, dystopian horrors. Listen to this one.
The first time we've heard this kind of talk from Donald Trump, and it reeks of authoritarianism.
Trump links migrants to murderers. It's in their genes. I don't know where this came from, but just dig this.
And this isn't the first time we've heard this kind of talk from Donald Trump, and it reeks of authoritarianism. And it also harkens back to a time of Hitler, who used the same exact language that Donald Trump is now quoting.
Hitler. Did you hear this? Donald Trump uses the language of Hitler
to talk about the people who he thinks are poisoning the blood of the nation. You know,
I don't think he said that.
All of this smells like an affinity towards eugenics.
They're actually suggesting eugenics. Oh my. Do you really want to do this? Bill Gates is thinking, no, don't say that. Oh, it's like, you want to talk about eugenics, honey? You want to do that? Are you sure? Okay. You open the door. You want to talk about, let's talk about eugenics. You ready?
Which really should give us all pause. Because when we remember the last person, the last awful authoritarian dictator who believed in eugenics, it was someone who really wanted to exterminate an entire people because they thought that they didn't have good genes.
Now look at Aaron, whoever it is, Robert, and this guy on the right. They're thinking, what the hell is she talking about? Is she's making Hitler references? Oh, keep it up. This is great. They're sitting there thinking, oh, okay, whatever.
And because they were trying to create a certain type of race. Donald Trump has himself said that his parents, his father, raised him to believe that they were superior to others.
Did you ever hear that? That he's
because they had good genes. Now, what does that mean? The way he's talking about it is he wants to purge the immigrants, right? He wants to get rid of all of the immigrants.
Oh, I can't take this. I just cannot. I can't take this anymore. I can't do this. Let me see. Is this the one who? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I've seen that one. I have been today, my friends, just again, just thinking and asking and wondering and watching. Eric Adams, what will happen to him? He will step down, certainly, absolutely. CR says, now they say Doug was flirting with young women. Yes. Slappy. You mean Slappy Emhoff, CR? Oh, yeah. Crypto says, why has walls of cackle face? Okay, let me try this. Why has walls of cackle face every mile big clown face? I don't know what that means. I would love to know what that means, but I thank you for that. What CR is talking about is there were some cases, either lawsuits or whatever, from his prior law firm that showed that he was, well, that's where he might have been rough towards women, especially women, female partners in the firm, and they had to kowtow to him. Look, he's a real creepy dude, and there's a lot of issues there he's got. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of issues. That's all I'm saying. All right. Evan Webster, yesterday I learned that my Dem voting sister does not know who Joe Rogan is, or many others so popular, like typical of most Dems. That's at least not to hear the name. Crypto says Wisconsin billboards are out of proportion. Okay. Again, I don't know what that means, but they're out of proportion. Now, look, I'm sorry, but we all have these relatives and people in our family where we're wondering what's the matter with them. Why do they think like this? Why do they? I honest to God don't know. I don't know what it takes for these people. I don't understand it. The good news is simply this, and listen to me and listen carefully. It was said and has been said, let us not say that how do I say this? Let us not say that it is 27 days until the election. The election is going on now. Remember that. From now on, don't say anything about, well, the election. No. It's going on now as we speak. And the good news is, thank God we have such stupid, monumentally idiotic people actually running for office. Thank God. And I mean that. If I could tweak her campaign just a little bit, think about this. This woman, his woman, Aisha, is evil. Okay. Oh, listen, Linda, I love Aisha, whoever she is. I love this kind of talk. Crypto says mile after mile. Indeed. Okay. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, I want people to say that. I want people to bring in Hitlerian, dystopian, eugenics and Mengele. And I mean, just keep it up. You see Aaron Roberts thinking, when is the show over? How long? Are we gonna Is this the best we can? CNN is collapsing. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. Why they don't do this? They could have taken this dingbat game on and said, okay, sit down. It's time for our test. We're going to do our lessons now. Come on. Okay, I'm going to pull out a subject and you're going to say what we've memorized. Okay, ready? Ukraine. Very good. Israel. Very good. Weather. Very good. The border. Very good. And you can't say things. You have to give us a few facts. You can't speak generally. Donald Trump had the chance, but what did he do exactly? Well, this sounds crazy, but if he did something wrong, why don't you and Joe just change it? Crypto says in Wisconsin, there are billboards of her face mile after mile after mile. There's no way that any one person paid for that. Oh, absolutely. Why Wisconsin when that's his state? No, I'm sorry. He's Minnesota. What am I saying? Good for you. That's fine. Crypto, all it would have taken was for her to know a little something. Nelson says, wishing all your friends and family in Florida safety and much love. We will be with all of them. Hope this storm steers away. I hope so as well. And I thank you for that. I was hearing that the storm was veering a little tiny bit, maybe heading more south. But the problem is, you feel terrible saying, I'm glad it's getting away from, Tampa, but some other poor people are in the crosshairs. It's incredible. It's these little, somebody used the analogy, if you're driving and you just turn your wheel just a little bit here. Maybe right away you don't notice, but about 5 miles away, it makes a big difference. So these little micro movements change drastically. The implications of this are incredible. Let me also tell you what people in Florida have to think about. You have to think about snakes and alligators and things that normally remain purged. When there was a tremendous flood in New York, the good news was, all of the rats underground were flooded. So that was good. Do you remember when Barack Obama made his bones when he flew in and met with Sandy, met with Chris Christie, and they put their arm around each other? Remember that? That was a moment of absolute genius. Every single politician waits for the time to put on a jacket, some wading boots, some Wellingtons, to wade out into the water, to look as though they're doing something. Remember that picture of Sean Penn in Louisiana years ago when he was helping deliver the food and helping this? Remember that? It was really good. Sean Penn. He's got an interesting how he's still walking around after El Chapo. I have no idea, but I'm glad he's okay. That's important, I guess. But what's interesting is that every politician except this one, she just doesn't care. And and I know that when she left, Howard Stern, Mr. Smartass, probably said, can you believe this? I asked her exactly what they told me to ask. And this is what she comes back with. Now, on The View is a different story. Who cares? When you go on a show watched by people who aren't going to vote for him, what difference does it make? Let her walk into a football stadium and let thousands and thousands and thousands of people scream and cheer and holler. Nobody. She still can't answer the questions now. This is the part that kills me. She still has not learned I want my friends. Again, people have been asking, and this is so critical. The that number again. Oh, this is yes. Prepare with Lionel right now. When you get a chance, make sure now. When you got to just look. Start off something easy. Prepare with something. Buy something. Store something. Build something. Have something. Just build this. I'm not asking you to go to a pizza restaurant. I'm not talking you to buy a taco or buy a car or sunglasses or something that is nice. This is life saving because I'm telling you, you know it and I know it. And I've always said it and thought it, but I never saw it as much. These people are evil. And they get together, and in their evilness, I don't know what the word is. They have such a contempt for us. And you got to ask yourself, no. And I'd love to meet with like Axelrod, Carville. What do you really think? They'll say to you, I don't know. How did she come about? I don't know. Why didn't you at least have a chance for people to vote? I don't know. Why couldn't you pick someone? Gavin Newsom would have been awesome, as people would say. Seriously. You can say what you want about Gavin Newsom. He speaks. He knows facts. He's not whatever she is mentally. She has a learning. Maybe she's trying to throw it. I have no earthly idea. That's what I just played. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They edited it. This is something. This is 60 minutes. Don Hewitt, Mike Wallace are going crazy. Everything that we know, everything that we knew, every rule, everything is being broken with impunity at levels I never thought possible. This is the biggest, the most important election of our time. I am not even going to ask whether everyone is registered to vote. I'm going to just say, I know you are in this country. Mrs. L and I we're ready to go. We will vote early in the actual booth. No problem. New York, one of my dreams is if New York goes red. Dear God. There is a chance for there to be such a colossal blowout that people, there's two people here. I want you to listen to me carefully. One is the closet Trump supporter who doesn't want people to know seriously. And the other one is the person who can't stand Kamala. I've never said this, but let me ask you this. Do you know, ladies? Let me ask you this. Ladies, knowing what you know about your fellow ladies, what do you think women really say and how do they respond to Kamala? What do you really think? What do you really think when they see her? What do they think? What do you think? What do you think people think? Yep. She's a fraud. Ladies, what do you think? What do you think? And please like this. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick, for liking this is so critical to how we do. What do you think women feel? And also, I wonder about this. How are people in Florida and North Carolina and every place else going to vote? This remains to be seen, dear friends. So, let me remind you a couple of things. Again, dear friends. First of all, number one, preparewithlionel.com. Also, Lionel Nation Gold. These are our great, great, great sponsors, but right now, more than ever, do people need them. Also, we have another great, great person, a terrific friend. You know him and you love him. Let me see, where is our friend? Where is our... Oh, yes. MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com. Use promo code Lionel. Receive a free gift. I know that's also. Here we go while we're at it. Follow Lynn's Warriors on X at Lynn's Warriors and YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. I think I'm covering it all, my friends. And don't forget, on the 26th of October, this month, and all of this information, all of this stuff is on the YouTube description section. Please, we're going to be at the cutting room 10 days before the election. It is going to be an absolute blowout like you cannot believe. So Nelson, Crypto Domini, I thank you. Linda Hazlitt, thank you. Evan, CR, Leslie, Howie Brown, you've got a lovely dollar. Evan Webb, Edie, I believe. Leslie Watson, Mark Wilson, Kevin, Howie Brown, I think I said that. And our new member, Vilma Novak. All right, dear friends. I am beat. I am baked. I am, as we say in West Tampa, arrebatado. We will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Until then, thank you. Oh, by the way, did you see today our interview? Mrs. L and me. What a guest. What a guest. Make sure you see that one. That was a beaut and a half. And I say that with all due respect. She knows more. She knows her stuff. Oh. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget, until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.